Welcome back to Coloring Through the Bible. My name is Keegan Harkins. Today we're going to spend one more day looking at Exodus chapter 20. Well, in the last video we looked at the first part of the chapter, which is where we find the Ten Commandments. Now the last couple of verses, however, give us instructions not for how to live, but for how we're to worship God. So God commands the Israelites to build their altars for sacrificing to God and God only, out of simple, unornamented earth or natural stone. He tells them they can't chisel it, they can't change it. It just needs to be natural and pure and simple. Now, other civilizations at the same time took really great care to build these elaborate temples and altars that, some of them are still around even today, but they hoped to create something good enough to earn the favor of their gods. Now, the Ten Commandments just taught us that we can never measure up to God's standard of perfection. So now it's kind of addressing the other side of that. We can never measure up to God's perfection. We can never be good enough. We can never be talented enough. We can never do enough to earn redemption. We aren't good enough and we can't earn it. Because a lot of these other cultures, when they made these temples or these altars, they believed that if they did a good enough job, they would earn their God's favor. But we can't be good enough and we can't do good enough. Okay? Ephesians 2, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9 remind us, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourselves. It is a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." I mean, can you imagine if we had to earn our salvation? What a sorrowful mess we would be. And for every good thing we did, could put a token in a jar, but then we'd have to take it out again when we stumbled or we made a mistake or we failed to measure up to perfection, even just the slightest bit. And pretty soon most of our salvation jars would be filled with IOU notes. I know mine would be. But that's not the way it works. We don't deserve it. We can't earn it. We can't buy it. It's a gift. It's given because of God's grace, not because of our worthiness. God's love is unconditional. It's undeserved. 1 John 3:1 puts it this way: "How great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." Our adoption into the family of God is because of His love, not us. His love has nothing to do with our worthiness and everything to do with His. It's so tempting to try to build up magnificent offerings in hopes that He isn't going to notice our imperfections. It's very tempting to do what we do, not because God has led us to do it, or because it's the right thing to do, or even because it's what the Bible tells us to do. But sometimes our motivation isn't doing the right thing, but it's getting noticed for doing the right thing. And that's where the big problem lies. See, if God had let the Israelites build them these magnificent altars, they'd be very tempted to say, the success and the favor that we have is because we did something fantastic. Or to be able to say, look what we did, and then the focus gets off of the God that they're sacrificing to and onto the work of the sacrifice. And let's put that in our terms. When we work for the Lord, it's very easy and very tempting to say, look at what I've accomplished. Give me glory as I am serving the Lord. And you can see this maybe even in your own life, maybe in the lives of people that you know, maybe in the lives of people you've seen on TV, but it's a trap for every single one of us. When we start to think too highly of the work that we're doing, that it overshadows the God we are working for, then we get totally off track. And God warns us, I should be greater than anything. Work for me, love me, offer offerings and sacrifices to me because I'm worthy. And don't let that act of worship become a way of glorifying ourselves. So let's focus on our offerings and our sacrifices for God being heartfelt, honest, and sincere. Remember Psalms 51:17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. God cares more about the heart behind the sacrifice than how pretty the sacrifice is. I hope you've been encouraged today. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to hit the like button if this message has touched you today. And from all of us here at Hebrews 4 Ministries, have a truly blessed